You see, in 1872, Central Pacific Railroad was building its tracks from Northern California to the south. And as that route made its way through the valley, a railroad official by the name of Leland Stanford stumbled upon a field of greenery, a spot he felt was ideal for a train station. Well, the station was built, and although its purpose has changed dramatically through the years, the Fresno station still exists today. Fresno has come a long way in the past 100 years or so. The small farming community of the 1870s has now blossomed into the 65th largest city in our nation. But along with growth comes decay. As the city has expanded, some areas, particularly the older areas, have been sacrificed for new growth. Fresno's downtown is a prime example of that. What was once the heart and lifeblood of Fresno has now become to some people the most undesirable crime-ridden part of the city. Who's to blame for downtown's negative image? Is it the city government, the people, or is downtown Fresno just a victim of circumstance? I'm Stephanie Verugian. I'll have some answers and perhaps some new hope in the next half hour.
The lights are much brighter there. You can forget all your troubles, forget all your cares. So go downtown, where all the lights are bright. Downtown, waiting for you tonight. Downtown, you're gonna be all right now.
Hey, did you hear? What? Supercuts guarantees their haircuts. Great! Let's go. How do you guarantee a haircut?
We're changing the way America cuts its hair.
At Supercuts, we've been trained to cut hair perfectly.
And we're so confident you'll like your cut, we give you a money-back guarantee.
Hey, you look great. You think they could do something with this?
Guaranteed.
We're changing the way America cuts its hair. Supercuts.
Decision 84, the California primary. Live local election coverage from News Center 24. Be there election night with Bob Long and the News Center election coverage team throughout the valley for up-to-the-minute results. Coverage begins at 10 p.m. and continues throughout the evening. Decision 84, the California primary, Tuesday at 10 on TV 24. Depend on it.
Hi, this is Jim Sweeney. Just as the rules for football are designed for the protection of the players, the ordinances that prohibit swimming in canals and unattended children on canal banks are designed for the protection of everyone. Canal waters are often swift, icy cold, deep, and always dangerous. Listen to the coach. Be smart and play by the rules. Stay away from canals and stay alive.
The American Heart Association invites you to enjoy a night on the bluffs, Saturday, June 16th, at the Royal Coach Estates, 7583 North Van Ness. Hors d'oeuvres, steak dinner, silent auction, and dancing to the music of Frank Wells and his orchestra. It all starts at 7 o'clock for a fine summer night on the bluffs. Call the Heart Association for reservations. Deadline, June 8th. Then enjoy the Heart Association's annual Night on the Bluffs.
Before we begin examining problems in downtown Fresno, let's take a step back in time, about 30 years back to the mid-50s, a period of great transition in downtown Fresno. You see, the city had been growing in all directions. New homes, new schools, and new stores were being built. And in all the excitement, the downtown area was left behind to decay.
The town itself was simply being crowded out. It was moving out into the neighborhood. And unless we did something about the situation of the decay that was going on, the deterioration that was going on, it will be totally disintegrate.
Rather than allow that deterioration to continue, the city joined efforts with the Redevelopment Agency and a group of downtown merchants called the 100%ers. They decided to hire a consulting firm to come up with a plan to revitalize the whole downtown area. The firm, Victor Gruen and Associates, conducted an extensive study of Fresno's 2,000-acre central district. And out of that $100,000 study came plans to build a convention center, a massive freeway system, and an outdoor regional shopping center, otherwise known as the Fulton Mall.
Let's close Fulton Street. Let's turn it into a mall where the city will then be turned over to people and not to cars, because Fulton was the drag strip for the kids.
Well, the city decided it liked Victor Gruen's ideas, and after months of public hearings and through state funding and local assessments, in 1964, the downtown mall became reality.
We have had a great history. We're living through an enjoyable present. But I really think at this moment, for many of us, this is our finest hour. Thank you.
There may have been more truth to Mayor Henderson's statement than even he knew at the time. It's now 1984, some 20 years since the mall was built, and many of the problems that plagued downtown Fresno in the 1950s still exist today.
Do you ever shop on the downtown mall?
Rarely, very rarely.
Is there any particular reason?
Besides the bad location, but because probably the quality of the stores has gone down.
Very rarely. No, I don't get downtown. Hardly at all.
Never at all. I don't even go down there either.
Because of location?
Because of location, the main reason. It's scary.
Fresno had such high hopes for its downtown area, its mall of the future, but the future did not bring good tidings. George Kerber of Fresno's Development Department.
The major weakness in the Gruen program was that many people thought once we closed Fulton Street and converted it into a pedestrian mall that we had accomplished implementation and everything would turn around. And that didn't happen.
What happened was this. Suburban life began to appear more attractive to folks wanting to relocate. They moved north, away from downtown Fresno, and the new, more modern shopping centers followed along with them.
I think one of the problems is that I think Gruen's concept, while I happen to share many of his values, it just didn't fit the times anymore. And people were looking for a more convenient shopping experience than downtown.
One by one, the stores began to leave. Those structures left vacant began to break down. So the once scenic, highly traveled, progressive downtown mall has now taken on the image of a crime-ridden, deteriorating failure. Could this have been prevented? Should Victor Gruen have looked into the future when making his plans? Well, maybe he did.
The planning of the downtown and the revitalization program was a very well done program and process, and as a planning program was successful. The implementation of the program, of course, did not or was not fully successful.
Kerber places much of the blame on a lack of commitment by our city leaders, who, through no fault of their own, were forced to center their attentions on other pressing matters.
First, you have to recognize the plan that was evolved for downtown revitalization was a 20-year program. And how do you maintain a commitment for a 20-year program when the people that are making the decisions are re-elected every 2 years?
An essential element of the Gruen plan was a freeway network system, the Loop as it was called, designed to make access in and out of downtown Fresno easy from any part of the city. To date, that system is far from complete.
It's adversely affected the progressive downtown revitalization.
We did everything we had to do to get ready for the freeways, but the state never carried through its commitments. The whole Fresno freeway system was to have been completed about 10 years ago, and we've just been able to get a part of 41 built and a little tiny part of 180. We've had cutbacks in the funds available for downtown. We used to have maybe, let's say $10 million a year that we could spend in the older areas of Fresno. That money's been cut way back.
No money for freeways, no money to expand and complete the parking system, no money for maintenance. Downtown property owners have had to foot many of the bills to maintain this area. Now, that's not unusual in a shopping district, but what is unusual in this case is many of the stores in downtown Fresno are individually owned. Some of the store owners don't live in Fresno, some not even in our state. Needless to say, maintenance is not always their top priority. And poorly maintained areas often attract the so-called undesirables.
You've got the public inebriates kind of hanging out there. You've got groups of kids that kind of wander around the mall at various times of the day, and I think people are intimidated by that. They feel uncomfortable.
People may feel uncomfortable, but statistically anyway, crime is not a major problem downtown. On a per capita basis, crime downtown is no higher than at any other shopping center in Fresno.
All the precautions are there. It's just a case of a perception, and perceptions are hard to change.
The problem is the fact that people it doesn't feel like a good place for them to be, and that's got to be changed. Now, how you go about changing it, the Downtown Association now, for instance, is retaining security officers.
The Downtown Association is a non-profit organization designed to tackle and solve problems in the district. Tom Van Nortwick heads the association.
That the presence of security does two things for the downtown Fresno. It eliminates or reduces the possibility of real crime, and secondly, of course, it gives the shopper, the clientele, the business people in the downtown area a safer perception of the environment.
First, when I started coming down here, I felt unsafe. But now that I'm down here constantly, see what it's like, it's not that bad of an area. It's not any difference in Fashion Fair. We get more compliments from people saying, you know, thank you for you being here, because they're getting sick of panhandlers and people asking for money, and the drunks being around and catching people breaking into cars. They appreciate us down here.
The perception that downtown's retail trade is dead is another problem for the Downtown Association.
We have lost retailers, those that have changed their direction, that started in the downtown area. They did well here, obviously, because they were able to expand, and then decided that downtown was really not their ball game anymore. Our goal will be to bring more and better businesses to the downtown area. That is our job, and we'll be successful at it.
And the association can boast of a few success stories.
About a year ago, almost made a move from the downtown, but when we analyzed our costs to be in another location, the rents were higher, but the overhead costs of being inside of say a covered mall, and the amount of hours that you would be open and the amount of help that you would have to have, we felt that our bottom line wouldn't be that much better. So we chose to stay where we are, where we have a known commodity.
And yet another success story, this one involving the Woolworth chain. In May of 1983, Woolworths announced it would allow its lease to expire and close its downtown outlet. But the owners of Woolworths changed their minds. Apparently they decided downtown Fresno isn't such a bad place after all.
Times are tough for the small businessman. The risks are high. The competition fierce. It's hard to keep up. Fortunately, McDonald's is helping us out. They've cut prices. Now the same 100% all-American beef hamburger is only 39 cents.
Cheeseburger's only 49 cents.
Take it from me. This is the best businessman's lunch in town. 39-cent hamburgers.
49-cent cheeseburgers.
Got the business section?
McDonald's and you.
Like ice cream?
You bet.
I'll bet you do, too.
Sure.
Everybody likes ice cream, kids, moms and dads, everybody. And June 17th, Father's Day, you can enjoy ice cream and help big brothers, big sisters at the same time at Monterey Ice Cream Company, Shaw and Fresno Streets from 11 to 11.
Come on in and enjoy some ice cream on a warm summer day.
We'll tell you about big brothers and big sisters.
It's Father's Day!
A true celebration of Fresno, seen as the most substantial highway art project in the United States. We've symbolized our grape industry, cotton, a fresh field of flowers, and the arts. We have one more mosaic, Please help us complete the project by sending your tax-deductible donation to Fresno JC's, Mosaic 41, P.O. Box 1469, Fresno 93716.
Now, you can watch Fresno's most dependable newscast, News Center 24 at 6.
Evening. Mariposa County says the U.S. government...
And listen to a live translation in Spanish.
...head-on crash that killed 3 Secret Service agents.
Each weekday at 6, simply tune your television to TV 24. Tune your radio to KGST AM 1600. Then you'll have the best newscast in Fresno in Spanish. Depend on it.
This may or may not come as a surprise, but there are people living in Fresno who haven't been downtown in years. They say they have no reason to come here. But there are others who believe those Fresnans who stay away from downtown are missing out on something special, particularly the people who work downtown. They have a great sense of pride in the district.
No finer place for sure downtown. Everything's waiting for you.
I think there's a difference in the style here and at Shaw, and I think the people that are downtown like downtown.
Very nice. I like downtown area. I like Fulton Mall. I like my job at Kajak's. I am enjoying.
What do you say to people who don't like to come downtown? Do you have any problems at all in this?
I never had any problems.
Yes, I do. Yes, I rather come down here. Do my shopping here in Fresno. I'm in the mall.
Why do you prefer this area?
It's closer to where I live.
Although the variety of stores could be better, there is a certain convenience to this area. Banks and restaurants are all within walking distance. For the person with an interest in art, virtually hours could be spent enjoying and pondering the nearly 20 works on display. And then there's the people. The Fulton Mall is surely the most culturally mixed district in our city.
This is public property, so we have all kinds of people. We have retired people, we have minority people, we have people that are preaching, we have people that are selling magazines. We have everybody down here, and it's the way a community should be.
And where else but downtown Fresno can you find out the time of day and the weather outlook with just a glance to the sky? Way atop the Guarantee Savings Building sits a landmark in the area. It's called the Weather G. It's a convenience for those who know how it works and a downtown symbol that can be seen for miles.
If it's red, it means it'll be warmer tomorrow by at least 3 degrees. If it's green, it means it'll be cooler by at least 3 degrees, and if it stays white, it means there'll be no change or a relatively small change in the temperature for the next day. Now, if it's flashing, that means it's going to rain.
From predicting the weather to predicting the future. What lies ahead for downtown Fresno? Will the people of this city allow the district to die, or will Victor Gruen's dream, Fresno's aging dream, become a reality?
With the changes that have taken place in our society, the economic conditions, the problems with energy, the need to preserve prime agricultural lands, to begin talking in terms of limiting the growth of the community and the need for higher intensity development. There's a renewed interest.
What I think can happen downtown is for it to become a festive marketplace that aims at specialty retail, seeks to serve the people who work downtown, people who are here for conventions and for entertainment events. I'm hoping we'll see more restaurants, more specialty shops.
We need a strong, vibrant retail climate and mix in the downtown area. We have a busy retail entities that are down here today. We're looking to improve our mix over the next years.
In addition to addressing a new retail market, the Downtown Association is also working on maintenance. The association believes that by improving landscapes and storefronts and by cleaning alleys and streets, people will find downtown a much more desirable place to be.
We intend over the next 2 years to see to it that the downtown becomes so beautiful and transforms into such a beautiful place that people will actually come downtown to see the flowers and to see the trees turn colors.
But recapturing the public's awareness and bringing people back downtown is much more complicated than planting flowers. The city has another plan of attack, one which involves the cultivation of new homes and businesses.
Here's an invitation to join community concerts for the Fresno Musical Club's 80th season. The Romanian National Choir will perform on October 15th, followed in November by the Amman International Folk Ensemble. The Empire Brass will start 1985 in January, mezzo-soprano Sharon Graham in February, the Munich Chamber Orchestra in March, and pianist Ivan Moravec in April. Season tickets are available through June at Stevenson Music Center. No single tickets will be sold.
Kids. One day they're babies. Suddenly they're all grown up. Share those important in-between years with your children in Y Indian Guides, one of the parent-child programs of your YMCA. Y Indian Guides, a great idea, helping families grow together. Sign up today at your YMCA.
Come on, join the Y, 'cause the Y is a great idea.
On the next News Scope, working wives. Is the extra money worth the increased income tax?
The financial rewards are, sadly, often less than anticipated.
Why the tax system is the main culprit. Plus, Robert De Niro in Once Upon a Time in America.
Today they ask us to get rid of Joe. Tomorrow they ask me to get rid of you.
News Scope. Every day the latest in entertainment, health, money, consumer, and lifestyles.
Be there Wednesday at 5:30 on TV 24.
Look into what Valley residents do with their spare time. From a wood carver who makes carousel horses to a 70-year-old man building dollhouses. We'll see what people do to relax as Lisa Mendoza reports on hobbies. Distinct, different, and daring. This week on News Center 24, 6 and 11. Depend on it.
Today, most forms of arthritis can be controlled. Get the facts from the Arthritis Foundation. It's time to take arthritis seriously.
In 1958, when Victor Gruen drew up Fresno's downtown renewal project, one essential element was stressed: the downtown Fresno become a vital part of the community. Although that plan has not progressed as it should have, the basic idea was a good one. Fresno's development department is ready to start from square one again to revitalize the downtown area. The department hopes to have a new plan ready for public hearing by July of 1985.
We're going to look at the central business district, the parking needs. We're going to have another look at the Civic Center, the Convention Center, what kind of activities and functions can best be suited for the central area. We're going to especially concentrate on the importance and identify where housing should be located in the area.
And it seems only natural that if more people live downtown and feel comfortable about doing so, more people will spend time downtown.
There's a potential, I think, a market for high-rise housing in downtown Fresno where people you'd have to have nice security, you'd have to have, I'd say good security, nice amenities such as swimming pools and tennis and recreation facilities and parking and park space and so on. I think if you provided that, there may be a market for people to live in expensive condos downtown.
While there are no immediate plans to build high-rise condos downtown, the city is considering housing on land across from the convention center, bound by O, P, Tulare, and Ventura Streets. And a massive redevelopment project is ready to get underway on 600 acres north of Community Hospital. It's called the Jefferson Project and calls for new housing, rehabilitation of old housing, plus expansion and construction of offices and a neighborhood commercial center. Facing an unstable economy, it has been the choice of many cities across the country to conserve and preserve. That's the conservation of space by developing unused land in the inner city and the preservation of structures already in existence. That choice may be the key to downtown Fresno's future. What with the district being a center for most financial, law, and government service institutions, construction and renovation projects downtown are beginning to appear more and more attractive to developers.
We think that a unique complex like this lends itself to the fact that there is some beauty downtown.
Dick Deckelman is the manager of the Fresno station. The station, of course, being Fresno's first train station. Built in 1872, it put Fresno on the map. The station itself hasn't served train passengers for years, but the structure managed to survive several decades of neglect. And now, through the efforts of a three-phase rehabilitation project, the Fresno station serves as an example of what downtown Fresno can only hope to be, a success.
We're over 60% occupied now, that is in our first phase.
And that's despite what some might consider a poor location behind the Greyhound bus terminal, and despite direct competition from other newly constructed complexes in the downtown area. The newest being Civic Center Square, which should open late this year and provide a half-dozen office buildings to folks wanting to set up a business downtown. In addition to being a local landmark, the Fresno station serves as a symbol of hope for this area. It's proof that revitalization can be successful given the time and effort. As for downtown Fresno's revitalization, city officials have agreed to pledge their effort into the project, but they say they need the understanding of the public that a project of this scope requires time. It doesn't happen overnight, and people should judge its success on a long-range basis.
I don't think anybody, at least I didn't, imagine that you would wave your hand and tomorrow there'd be all new buildings and new businesses. The city doesn't grow like that.
People forget how raunchy downtown was becoming before the mall.
It'd be like if a baby is born, they say, well, the baby's born now. Let's forget about it.
Yeah.
You don't.
Our city leaders say it may be another 20 years before downtown Fresno regains its reputation in this community. And that's only if the city carries through with its commitment to the project. But the district has at least one advantage this time around. Maybe this time Fresno will learn from its mistakes.
Everything's waiting for you. Don't hang around and let your problems surround you. There are movie shows downtown. Maybe you know some little places to go to where they never close. Downtown, just listen to the rhythm of a gentle bossa nova. You'll be dancing with them too before the night is over. Happy again. The lights are much brighter there. You can forget all your troubles, forget all your cares. So go down.